Hi, it's Sue here from Mystic Matters. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've been attracted to this particular video, then let's see what you need to know. I'm using the Mythic Tarot, and these are based on Greek mythology. They give strong but gentle messages. Let's see what we've got here today. All right, well, we're starting off here with the Devil card. Now, the Devil is about you deciding what it is in what it is you need to work on within yourself. Now, this is not what anybody else says, oh, we need to do this, you need to do that. It's nobody else's business. It's only what you yourself feel you need to do. So this could be giving up smoking, could be to do with diet and exercise. It could be getting rid of negative belief systems. Whatever you feel is holding you back. If you're used to getting up really late and then you've got a new job and it means that you need to adjust what time you get up, things like that. It's just making adjustments and making changes so that you can embrace yourself moving forward. I do feel that there's going to be a bit of resistance within yourself about making these changes. It's like, well, I'm okay as I am, it's holding on to what you believe gives you status, that your freedom to be exactly who you are with no apologies. But the problem is that when we hold on too tight, what we do is we block creativity, we block finance, and we're not being able to move forward because we've dug our heels in so much that there's no budging us, and then we just end up in the same space. We can't move forward. So if you can just, there's a good analogy with this. It's like if you've got yourself a Rolls Royce, but you've only got the space to park a Mini, then just get rid of the Rolls Royce, the status, and just get what fits with your life, get what fits into that space. Yeah, so that's the real message. This is about new ideas. You've got new ideas that are coming and will come as long as you go with the flow, and you make the changes necessary to embrace the new ideas and new life. But if you're not prepared to compromise, if you're not prepared to make any changes, then you can't expect the new ideas to come because you won't be open enough to receive them. So listen to, but with it saying you move past this, then you've got new ideas, and it will be important to get other people on your side, because people might try to sabotage you in a way, because maybe you're not there for them as much as you would have been if you just continued in the path that you were on. For instance, if you're a parent, and suddenly you want to go off and do some study, so you won't be able to, have as much time as you used to, because you're trying to improve your lot in life or trying to do a few new things. Then you could find suddenly, your children or maybe your spouse trying to sabotage your efforts, because they just want you to go back to the way you were before. So it does take a bit of resolve and a bit of ruthlessness to say, look, this is really important to me. Please, this particular scenario is not going to go on forever, but we can be much better off if I continue this path. So please support me. Please have my back. Please don't try and stop me because it's really important to me. And then you could end up getting them on your side, and they'll be saying, well, aren't you late? You should be gone by now. So it's all about how people are included and not to exclude them unwittingly. Because if you follow your new ideas, you're going to be able to achieve something really substantial, whether it be a business that can survive you, or could be to do with family, but you're going to do extremely well with it. It's a card of a lot of achievement, so it's well worth hanging on to your new ideas, your vision for what you want. But make sure that you go into everything with your eyes wide open, no rose-colored glasses, because if you grab the first thing that's available, then it's going to say, oh God, this hasn't worked out the way I expected. I'm really disappointed. And well, should I just kind of put up and shut up, or should I cut my losses? So if you've got your eyes wide open when you go into any of these situations, in whatever realm of your life this is, if you are aware of the possibilities of it, for instance, you could, as an example, you could go for a job, but you haven't asked about, can I get promoted? What's the possibilities within this for my particular skill set? And then 5 years down the line, you find you're still doing the same job and people are getting promoted over you. But if you've been absolutely clear in the beginning, you'd have found that your particular skill set was only ever going to be on that level. There was nothing that would have been there for you other than that. But because you were too quick to grab the opportunity, because you think, oh, if I don't grab this one, there's nothing else going to come my way. So it's when we get ourselves into situations because we haven't really looked clearly or closely enough at whether this is going to satisfy us for the long term. But there are new opportunities coming your way, new partnerships. This can be a new love interest coming in, or new business partnerships. But it will be with somebody that you don't know either very well or know at all. It won't be somebody that you know extremely well. You haven't really got to know them at all. So if it's somebody that you do know, it will be an acquaintance rather than a close friend. But there'll be new opportunities here for you, kind of moving forward. So as a quick recap, you really need to look at your habits that aren't going to help you move forward. You've got to. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything, but it's what you personally think that it's an outdated habit and it's worked for you in the past, but it's no longer working for you, and so it's something that you need to do for the future, and overcome the resistance to getting it done. Don't dig your heels in and say, "Don't. I'm fine. I'm fine as I am. I don't need to change," because ultimately we all need to change. Otherwise, we're not growing. And what's the point of being here on this planet if we're just going to be the same all the time? That's not progress. It's just existence, isn't it? So try not to dig your heels in. Try to see the bigger picture. Yes, you might have to give up a few things that you're resistant to giving up, but it's for the greater good. And this, when you let go of resistance, which will be blocking your creativity, be blocking your finance and all these things. When you let go of all that, then new ideas are going to come to you. it's like, oh, you know, I think this is really interesting. I'd like to pursue that path, but maybe I need to get, you know, maybe my family or the people that are living with me or that will be impacted by this decision. I need to tell them how important it is to me, because otherwise they might put obstacles in my path, because they think they're going to lose me, because I'm now interested in something else. So it's important to be transparent, so that people don't misinterpret your actions. If you can get on board with this new idea, you can achieve an awful lot. As I said, whether to do with new business or to do with family, but there's a lot of achievement here. Just make sure that you don't, because after the achievement, there's the following card is about, it hasn't worked out exactly the way I wanted it to. Do I cut my losses? Do I just put up with it? And it can mar the achievement a bit, and it will be because you haven't looked at it carefully enough when you got into the new idea. You didn't research it enough. You didn't look at its potential, you know, and you weren't clear on exactly where you wanted to be. Maybe you got this vision of building a massive business, employing thousands of people, but the idea you had was actually only ever going to fit a small business of maybe 10 people. So then you think, oh God, you know, it hasn't worked out. Or maybe you wanted a small business and then it's taken off, and suddenly you've got the potential of supplying chains all over the world, and you think, oh my God, what have I done here? This is much bigger than I ever wanted. I only wanted something like a family business. I do remember there was some program on television some years ago now, but there was a company that made something, I think it was a kind of a sauce or something. I remember it was in a kind of a small jar, and they were experts, and they had got their own recipe. I think it had been handed down through their family, and it was really popular. And they went ahead with one of these programs about getting their products out there. And anyway, they were offered this deal of supply with a supermarket, of filling the supermarket shelves, which would have been massive, absolutely massive for their business. They would have been a household name, and they withdrew because, and the person that was had got this deal for them, they said, why did you withdraw? They said, because we realized that we didn't want it to be that big. We were happy just supplying local shops or doing kind of mail order or online business. We didn't want it to get that big. It would have taken over our lives. So fortunately, they had the opportunity, but they knew what they wanted from their business, and supplying massive supermarkets all over the country wasn't what was aligned with what they wanted. So they managed to they got very clear very quickly, you know, what their vision was. But there will be the potential of a new business partner, or can be a new love interest as well coming in. But it will be either somebody completely new or somebody who might be an acquaintance, but it won't be anybody that you know very well. So if it's a romance, it's starting of a new romance, for instance, it won't be somebody you used to live with or somebody used to be in a relationship coming back. That's not that kind of energy. But again, look at this new, I said it's a business partnership. Look at it carefully as well, so that you don't fall into the trap of, oh, this hasn't worked out the way I expected. I thought it was going to be like this, and now 6 months, a year down the line, they said, well, they always thought it was going to be like that, and then comes problems. So just be transparent about what it is you want, and look at and ask yourself the questions. What do I want? What will make me happy? Okay. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful, and I hope to see you again. And thank you again very much for joining me. Bye.